Welcome to Omni, episode 45 for May 9th, 2026. Balanced news perspectives. Let's look at the day's news from every angle. UK local elections deliver heavy losses for Labour, while Reform UK and pro-independence parties advance across England, Scotland, and Wales. Results from local contests in England, Scotland, and Wales show Labour losing seats and councils in multiple regions. Keir Starmer has stated he will not shift the party left or right in response. Live updates track reactions from voters and party figures. Different perspectives frame these outcomes in distinct ways. Outlets such as the Daily Mail present the results as a direct challenge to Starmer's leadership style and his refusal to adjust course after the 2024 general election win. Other reporting highlights how voters in former Labour areas express frustration with national policy delivery rather than ideology alone. The coverage collectively shows a party balancing internal calls for change against a desire to maintain its broad electoral coalition. What local issues appear to have driven the largest swings in these contests? Shifting now to reactions inside the Labour Party itself. Several Labour MPs, ministers, and union leaders have publicly urged Sir Keir Starmer to outline a timeline for stepping down. The calls followed defeats in traditional strongholds now captured by Reform UK. Party sources described the results as a significant setback. Perspectives within the party differ sharply on next steps. Daily Mail reporting presents the internal criticism as evidence that Starmer's approach has lost support among core allies. Other accounts note that some within Labour still view the 2024 core majority as a mandate that requires time to implement rather than immediate leadership change. The discussion reveals tension between short-term electoral accountability and longer-term policy delivery. How unified are the calls for a leadership timetable within the party? Meanwhile, commentator Andrew Neil describes Thursday's elections as the end of two-party dominance in Britain. He warns that the shift toward multiple competing parties risks producing weak governments and policy paralysis. The analysis points to results across England, Scotland, and Wales as evidence of this transition. Perspectives on this structural change vary. The Daily Mail column emphasizes the structural change in voter behavior that has reduced the traditional conservative Labour duopoly. Other observers note that smaller parties have gained footholds in specific regions without yet forming national coalitions. The debate centers on whether this fragmentation improves representation or hinders decisive governance. Which smaller parties gained the most seats in the latest round? Next, pro-independence parties recorded strong performances in their respective devolved elections. Analysts describe the pattern as a potential realignment that could increase pressure on the UK government. Northern Ireland's leader called the changes seismic. Perspectives on these gains reflect regional priorities. Reporting highlights coordination possibilities among independence-focused groups. BBC coverage of the Scottish results stresses continuity for the SNP under John Swinney, while noting new challenges ahead. The combined picture shows regional identities gaining electoral weight alongside national party competition. How might these results affect future devolution negotiations? In Scotland itself, the SNP secured its fifth consecutive victory in the Scottish Parliament election. John Swinney will continue as First Minister. The party maintained its position despite national trends affecting Labour elsewhere. Perspectives on the outcome emphasize both stability and pressure. BBC reporting focuses on the stability the result provides for the SNP's policy agenda. Other coverage notes that the party must now address internal and external pressures that have grown since previous victories. The outcome illustrates how devolved elections can diverge from UK-wide patterns. How do Scottish results compare with Labour performance in England? Now, to really understand these UK election stories, there is something most coverage leaves out about how the voting system itself shapes results. Most coverage of UK elections assumes a stable two-party contest will always deliver clear majorities. Yet the latest local and devolved results show how constituency-based voting can instead amplify regional swings and allow newer parties to win seats with concentrated support. Under first past the post, each area elects one representative by plurality. A party that finishes first locally, even with well under half the vote, takes the seat, while votes for all other candidates are discarded. This mechanism rewards geographic clustering. Reform UK gains in certain English wards. The SNP maintains dominance in Scottish constituencies. The Greens pick up pockets elsewhere, even as national vote shares remain more evenly split. Historical parallels from the 1980s, when the SDP Liberal Alliance won millions of votes but few seats, illustrate the same structural bias toward larger or regionally concentrated parties. Knowing this when headlines declare Labour lost to Reform readers can distinguish between a broad national rejection and the narrower effect of voters in specific constituencies moving together. Next time coverage emphasizes dramatic seat changes, ask which parties concentrated votes efficiently in which areas, and how might boundary reviews or turnout differences alter the picture in a future national contest. Before we go watch for further developments in the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks that President Trump announced earlier, that wraps up today's Omni View. Remember, the best informed people read more than one perspective. If this show helps you do that, share it with someone who values fair coverage. See you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.